This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. This past Sunday on John Oliver's show, Last Week Tonight, he did an entire expose brilliantly, as he normally does. His team is fantastic. He has one of the greatest writers' rooms in the business. And they did an entire expose on Clarence Thomas and the corruption, and they went in depth on the reporting from ProPublica. Excuse me. And Matt Walsh has some thoughts. Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire, the Christo-fascist. I believe he self-identifies as a Christo-fascist. He's a real piece of work, an anti-trans, just a vile, sinister, hateful, anti-Christian bigot. I don't mean he's a bigot against Christians. I mean he acts in a manner that is anti-Christian, anti-Christ, if you will. But he purports to be a righteous, mighty man of God, a true masculine dude, as evidenced by the beard. That I don't know what he's trying to cover up there. Well, I know what he's trying to cover up there, but we'll get to that. I'm going to play a clip here. It's 3 different segments because he rambled for about 11 minutes bitching about John Oliver. Most of it ad hominem, most of it just invectives, most of it making fun of his accent and how he looks, and he's a life-size weasel or some nonsense. I'm going to play the clip. Watch the clip, but pay attention in the beginning to him not coming up with the insults off the top of his head. He's trying to slyly look down and read his laptop for the notes on what to say during this entire thing. And then at the end, you don't have to have watched the segment. They kind of outlined it at the beginning. But at the end, he gets to the part where he hopes Donald Trump will seek out John Oliver and punish him and put him in prison for doing the thing that billionaires are already doing with Clarence Thomas. It is a sight to behold that these people have so little integrity or adherence to logic or reason or truth or reality that they will foist this nonsense upon their audience. Watch Matt Walsh.
This is from The Hill. Comedian and Last Week Tonight host John Oliver is urging Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas to resign, offering $1 million a year to do so. Oliver railed against the conservative justice during the 11th season premiere of his weekly show on Sunday, saying Thomas has made the lives of Americans demonstrably worse and promising him a brand new luxury recreational vehicle if he agrees to step down from the high court. We have this clip of this comedy bit, I suppose it's supposed to be. Here it is. Watch. You know, I have to say, I actually despise John Oliver maybe more than I despise anybody in media. And I understand that's quite a statement because I have nothing but seething contempt for all of them. And you might say to yourself, well, John Oliver, yeah, he's a smarmy, sniveling little British douchebag. Sure, he looks and sounds like an overgrown weasel. Sure, he's the personification of the term skinny fat. Sure, he's like Harry Potter if Harry Potter's superpower was being extremely unfunny. And sure, all of that is true, but there are still plenty of other soulless, blood-sucking leeches in the media in Hollywood who are worse than him. I mean, you might say all that to yourself, and that's true, but for me personally, John Oliver is especially obnoxious. And I think it's that while being a dim-witted hack like all the rest of them, he also pretends to be a comedian. That's the part that offends me on a personal level. And by the way, it should also be said that, yes, that whole segment was a federal crime. Just that small little detail. So, openly bribing a federal official, a Supreme Court justice, is a crime. I mean, that's punishable by up to 15 years in prison. And I would love to see, if Trump wins in 2024, he should really go after John Oliver and try to put him in prison for bribing a federal official. 100% he should do it. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.
Look, it is easy to have people write material for you and then read it off of a laptop as reference and not come up with it on your own. It seems pretty easy. I even can do that, Matt Walsh. I can read invectives and ad hominem attacks, and which I'm fond of. It's not I'm opposed to them, but I also can read them from a script. In fact, here, let me demonstrate. Brushing the beard hair forward on that Jell-O mold you're trying to pass off as a chin isn't fooling anybody, Matt Walsh. You're a chinless whether you have a beard or not. Huh? All of it true. All of it true. See, Matt Walsh is one of these guys who wears his flannel to appear as though he's a man's man. After work, he goes out and puts his beer on his tailgate and does some work in the shop, when he's none of those things. He's always been a radio host and just a soft-skinned, smooth-brained rube. He is no thing even nearing a traditionally masculine man, no matter what he's trying to convince you with his beard and the cover-up of the chin that's not actually under the beard. He is just a weakling. Much like the people who work at the Daily Wire, they seek these individuals out. The Jordan Petersons, the 125-pound soaking wet Jordan Petersons, the miniature Ben Shapiro's that goes to Home Depot and puts a board in a bag and acts like he's doing something manly. It is a weird obsession. But let me explain to you, Matt Walsh, the entire premise of the bit that John Oliver was doing and offering the same perks that were given to Clarence Thomas by billionaires. The entire premise of the bit is that it shouldn't be allowed to happen. That what he is offering is no different than what has been actually given to Clarence Thomas. That's the bit, dipshit. That's the bit. And the fact that it went over your head is of no concern to the rest of America, you moron. Federal crime? If it's a federal crime, then the Nazi collecting, memorabilia collecting idiot, Harlan Crow, is in for a pretty big problem if it's a federal crime. Samuel Alito and his benefactors have a real problem on their hands if this is bribery of a federal official. But that's not what you're in it for. You're in it for punishing opponents with your seething rage or whatever nonsense. Like anybody gives like anyone cares about your seething rage or disdain. You're ineffectual. Your audience is filled with informationless rubes. But let me read my stuff off my laptop and get it real good. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. What do you think? I'd love to know. 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Come at me, Matt Walsh fans. I'm right here. If you appreciate my work more than you appreciate Matt Walsh's, click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month. You can hit the super thanks button. You go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. You can follow me on social media. There are so many ways to enjoy. You just enjoy. Anyway, I'm going to go. This is too much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.